Hi guys. So your inner critic, that internalized voice that is so convincing, it's almost like a voice of rationality, can be one of the biggest causes of you being held back in life without you even being aware of it. And it's an accumulation of any insult, any put down, any criticism that you received, particularly in your formative years. And what we tend to do is we tend to internalize those criticisms, and what they become is our internal monologue. They dictate the way that we see the world, and they dictate the way that we see ourselves. And as a result, particularly if we've received a lot of criticism in our childhood, we tend to have a low sense of self-worth. We tend to have very low confidence. And you'll see examples of this, when you try on clothes and you look in the mirror and you think, oh God, I look terrible, or I look fat, or I look ugly. And maybe you see a new job opportunity at work and you think to yourself, God, I could never get that. I'm just not good enough. And it's this voice of inadequacy. It's this voice of I'm not good enough all of the time. And it can bring you down so much. It's not only that, but it tends to be quite judgmental of other people, and you'll find yourself looking at other people, judging them in the same manner that you judge yourself. However, that being said, you do not have to live your life dictated by your internal critic. Now, it takes a lot of work to learn how to challenge it. And I suppose the first step in doing that is creating an awareness of it. I mean, oftentimes this internal monologue goes on all day long and we're unaware of it. It's just there without even us being conscious of it. So it's about tapping into that internal voice as frequently as possible, particularly when you're in bad form, or particularly when you feel yourself judging either yourself or others. We also need to keep an eye on our self-limiting beliefs, and these are constructs, again, that are created in our formative years. And they basically tell us what our capabilities are, and they tell us stories about other people and stories about the way the world is that aren't necessarily realistic, and it'll tell us things like, oh, I can't run fast because I was told I couldn't run fast when I was 12. And I know this is a very oversimplified example, but basically a person could spend their entire life thinking, no, I can't run, and yet have no rationality for it. It's just something that they have told themselves over the years, and it can hold them back in their job opportunities. It can hold them back in their relationships. I mean, oftentimes in our family of origin, we're given kind of a role to play, for example, the quiet one, and because you're so convinced you're the quiet one, you feel like you can't deal with conflict, you can't ever get angry. And I mean, this can be a very suffocating way to live when you feel you have to conform to whatever stories you have inside your own mind. So in order to tackle them, you first of all have to create an awareness of them, and then you have to just observe them non-judgmentally. It's not about having an argument with your inner critic. It's about maybe teasing through it and beginning to challenge the thoughts, asking yourself, okay, is there any possibility that this isn't true? And is this thought anyways beneficial to me or to anybody else, Particularly when you find the more judgmental thoughts, always ask yourself, okay, does this propel me forward or does this drag me back? And the more, I suppose, observant and aware you get with your thoughts, the more you begin to interact with them, the more you will find your life shift. However, as I said, it does take time, it does take mindfulness, and it takes a lot of practice. I mean, it's not something you change overnight. I mean, it's a very binary, black or white way of thinking. And as I said, it's not just something that you can just shift automatically. It takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of conscientiousness. If this is something that you would like to work with me on, get in touch with me on the website. It's fundamentals.ie. You'll also catch me on my Facebook and on Instagram. That's Fundamentals, both of those pages. I do regular content on my YouTube channel, videos just talking about all things mental health, all things confidence, all things self-acceptance and self-awareness. So go check it out. The channel is Fiona Feely. Like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think.